¿Hicieron?
Alfonso.
Yeah. Hey, hey.
Hey, we had tacos yesterday at work. It was a guy's idea. It was fun. I made a tri-tip on my little camping Traeger. That thing's awesome, by the way, if anyone is looking for a cool little barbecue to camp with. It's pretty neat. Works good, just like the big ones. So yeah, it was their idea. They wanted to do it because we're not like super busy. Just especially we got slowed down this week because of some possible rain today, which I'm at the shop right now. It does look a little threatening. I mean, it's kind of sort of gloomy outside. I don't know if we'll get anything out of it, but we got some grass baled up yesterday, got it out of the field. But as far as this, you know, all the hay and stuff we have on the ground, it really was the only thing that was close to being ready to bale, so that's all we could do. So we have a little bit of alfalfa on the ground, some wheat on the ground, but it's nowhere near ready. It's just too green, and you know, to go out there and to bale it, it's going to be wet. It's not going to be right. So we decided to just let the rain go by, cross our fingers we don't get that much, and then at least with it in the windrow, you know, we can manipulate it and make it dry. Yeah, it's going to be rained on and have some damage, but at least it'll be dry. It won't be wet. So I'm at the shop, like I said, or as you can see, and I have a gearbox out of a Swather that I've been redoing. So the issue with this was this shaft here. There's a bearing that sits, I don't know, about right here, or no, actually, I don't know. Anyway, it sits in here, and the bearing went bad. Actually, the bearing, the end of it broke off, and that allowed the locking collar for the bearing to come loose. So the shaft had a little bit of a vibration in it, so it sat there beating itself up. Here's the old one. I don't know if you can see the edge there, but you can see right here, that's where the bearing was riding. So it chewed that shaft up ever so slightly, and anyway, we need to change it. But in order to change the shaft, you got to take the gearbox apart, you got to press the bearings off, you got to press the bearings on. And what I'm doing right now, I have the shaft in, the first gear in, and I have to set the load on the bearing with this cap. And you do that by removing or adding these shims. So I've been waiting on shims for a couple days, finally got them. So yeah, there's bearings all greased up, packed with grease, which I didn't know that. I skipped that part of the service manual. I got the bearings all pressed on, was happy, like, oh cool, this is going good. And then I like looked up on the page and it says pack bearings before installation. Oh crap. So I got good at pressing them on and off. It was no big deal. So yeah, got shaft in there, just got to shim it. So we got to set the load on the bearing. There's a tapered roller bearing on this side and on the bottom. So what you're doing with this has this lip on it here. That's setting the load on the race for this bearing. So like I said, you tighten this down and you add and adjust shims as necessary. So I tried just putting it back the way it was with the old shims, but it was probably too tight. And the book says to set the rolling torque to between 5 and 10 inch-pounds. Well, yeah, all of my torque wrenches go from 20 foot-pounds to 250 foot-pounds, so that's not going to work. But we had a mechanic out from our local case dealer. He was working on something else, and the guy's really good with hay equipment. And I asked him to look at this for me, and you know, if he had a torque wrench to set it, and he just kind of laughed. He goes, honestly, he goes, I just feel it with my hand, and kind of go off of that. It's just kind of like tapered roller bearing. That's what's in like your wheel bearings for your trailers or what have you. And most of the time I just set those off of feel. And anyway, he came over here and we worked on it, and he kind of felt it, and he goes, set it about right there. So I felt it, and that's what I went off of. So, but anyway, we'll get this all tightened up and see what we can do. Okay, it's together. Just got to put the covers on, put some silicone on them. This thing fills up with gear oil. I mean, here's the filler. This is the bottom of the box, and I mean, it's probably only an inch or 2 inches deep of gear oil. It's not very much, but thank God for service manuals. But what I can't get over is look how thick that is. That's like a 3-inch book for a Swather header. Like, is there really that much about it? It's not like it's a, transmission out of a tractor. It's not really complicated. So, but yeah, this thing's ready to go back in. So I'm gonna put the covers back on, and then we'll slap it in the header. Alright, that thing's ready to go back in. So, next step, sticking it back in the swather, but it's a little windy outside, so I think I'm going to take this truck and put it outside, and this is the only door the swather will fit through, so I'm going to bring the swather in, and then I'm going to back my truck and just use my tools out of my truck rather than using the shop tools, because a lot of the tools on this table are out of my pickup anyway. So yeah, so get this truck out of here and get the swather in. work. It's not going anywhere. That's what you're supposed to say after you tie something down. If you don't, it'll fly off. Okay, so the box goes here, and those two drive lines hook up to it, and then that shaft we replaced comes through there, and there's a pulley, 4-ribbed pulley that sits on the end of it. It just wedges on there. The shaft's tapered, so you just wedge it on. So that pulley, there it is right there, big wide belt goes on it and drives that. That's hooked up to a gearbox inside here that's driven off of that hydraulic motor right there. So this belt is powering the conditioners. So this is the driver. The pulley here that's going to go on that shaft is the driven. That turns the gearbox that we're going to put on, and then from there turns the conditioner rolls that are inside there through these drive lines. So it is called the conditioner gearbox. At least that's what the book says. So we got to get that heavy thing. It's not that heavy. In here. I need a mat. My knees hurt. If you ever want to take something apart again and make your life easy, put a little bit of Never-Seez on it. You may look like the Tin Man from the Wizard of Oz when you're done. This gets everywhere, but it's worth it. Okay, drive line's hooked up. I think the conditioners are timed. So now I'm going to put gear oil in there and test fire it. Let's go get some oil. everybody loves to do. Clean up, sweep the floor, put the tools away. So I parked the case, the other Swather, it's on the other side of that one. So I figured, make sure everything's full of diesel, ready to go. This one needs a little top off with diesel and depth, so I'm gonna fill it up. One of my pet peeves is having things in the yard just ready to go, like turn the key on and go, you know, ready, so that way when something comes up, you just jump in it and go. So the guys are pretty good about it. They probably just forgot. So anyway, I'll top it off for them. No big deal. Okay, they're all ready. Serviced, grease, diesel, depth. And they're ready to get busy next week, weather permitting. Alright guys, that's going to do it for this one. So, thanks for watching. Please comment, rate, subscribe, and share. We appreciate everybody who's watched and subscribed so far. Getting easier every time I make one, doing the editing and stuff. So I think I'm going to start getting them out a little bit quicker. Been doing one a week. I don't know, I might try to do two. But yeah, anyway, thank you everybody for watching, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.